to a special early edition of Speak. I'm Joy Taylor, joined as always by two legends, Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson and NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce.
Yo.
What's up, guys?
What up?
What's happening?
Big plans for after the show?
Man, we trying to figure out after the show and tomorrow. We just trying to put it together.
Set it all up.
The menu right.
Get the menu
Get
right.
the menu right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up, as I always do.
I got them rockets. If y'all need them, hit me up on Instagram.
Alcohol and a smile.
The Rockets?
Got them rockets.
I don't think you want to do that. Out here in LA.
Kidding.
right?
He doesn't have any.
I ain't shot no fireworks since I was a kid.
Well, there are definitely gonna be fireworks in LA. We know that. Well, the Steelers have a future Hall of Fame quarterback on the roster this season to pair with their Super Bowl winning head coach, Mike Tomlin. Pittsburgh's previous championship coach, Bill Cowher, says that Tomlin should, quote, absolutely give Rodgers total autonomy, like Cowher did with Ben Roethlisberger. That duo won a Super Bowl and had a 34-12 record in 3 seasons together. So, Key, how much power should Mike Tomlin give Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh?
He should give him plenty of power. He should absolutely lean on Aaron Rodgers a lot. I agree, and you remember this when I said this a while ago when they were courting Aaron Rodgers, is that Arthur Smith, for me, is a major problem. And now, a roundabout way, Coach Cowher is saying it without even really, he don't want to put the OC name in it, right? He's just saying they should lean on Aaron Rodgers. But what he really said, he said the same thing I've been saying. I can't trust that in the passing game. When you think about Arthur Smith as an offensive coordinator with the Titans, you know, it just the passing game, the best he finished as an offensive coordinator was 21st. He was 27th last year as a passing game coordinator, offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when you look at that, the 1 year that they was very, very good offensively and they finished second in the league in 2020, guess who the running back was? It was Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. There is no Derrick Henry on this team. And so when you look at it, he just doesn't understand. It's hard to explain to people that think they know everything about football. It's hard to explain that because you are an offensive coordinator doesn't mean that you know the pass game and the run game. That's why nowadays you see a pass game coordinator and a run game coordinator.
Like in Washington.
Like in Washington, because typically guys in Miami got the same thing. They got pass game coordinator, run game coordinator. Because offensive coordinators sometimes that lean heavy on the run, they just don't understand the passing game. So now you really need an Aaron Rodgers to take you to the next level who knows the passing game. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, without even knowing, he'll run circles around Arthur Smith in terms of the passing game because he's been in it for so long and he's a quarterback. So absolutely, like Coach Cowher said, they should lean heavy on him if they plan on going anywhere.
Well, yeah. look at. This is how it is in sports, in a lot of sports, that you build your offense based on the strengths of your best offensive players that are trustworthy. You know, so I expect them to give him a lot of leeway because, like, I just know when I was the guy, basketball-wise, like, Doc didn't have to call all the plays. He trusted, like, I could go in a timeout and say, let's do this and let's do that. Or in the middle of a play, let's do this or do that because, you know, you earned that trust. And, you know, Rodgers, what he's done as a Hall of Fame quarterback, 4-time MVP is pretty trustworthy and has ran some outstanding offense. I don't know about lately, but, yeah, you'll give him that respect to say, hey, you know, we'll lean your way for the most part. It'll be probably like a 50-50 split, you know, where maybe Rodgers will see something or coaches see something that, you know, guys don't see on the field and go that way. So, but I expect this to be more of a smooth selling. They'll get their cadence right, hopefully, because they didn't get it right in New York. And I think he'll have a long leash to work with, more so than he did with the Jets.
How much power should Mike Tomlin give Aaron Rodgers? 0.
Woo!
How much power should Arthur Smith give Aaron Rodgers? Probably 50-50. The whole autonomy thing worked out swimmingly for the Jets. It netted them 5 whole wins in 2 years. It got Nathaniel Hackett removed from play calling after week 5, Robert Saleh fired, Joe Douglas fired, Mike Williams traded, Randall Cobb retired, and Devontae Adams is now with the Rams. So if you want to go off of what happened recently, I would not give Aaron Rodgers whole autonomy over the team. Mike Tomlin is the head coach, and he should remain the person in charge. If we're talking about the type of collaboration that Arthur Smith should have with Aaron Rodgers, I think they should heavily lean on each other. They are still going to need to run the ball, especially in that division. Obviously, they need to implement the passing game more than they have with Arthur Smith in years past, and in general with the Steelers. I mean, we've seen the frustrations that receivers have had there when they are too run heavy. But total autonomy got a lot of people fired. Total autonomy got Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Devontae Adams, and Nathaniel Hackett to the Jets, amongst others. And again, I think that the experiment with the Jets was a complete and total failure.
I don't disagree with you about it being a complete, total failure. But we're not talking about he's in control. He was in control in New York. We're talking about leaning on him in terms of the passing game and the offensive side of the ball.
That's not the question.
Certainly. What do you mean? How much power should?
The question is Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, but Mike Tomlin is the head coach. They answer to him.
So if the question said how much power should Arthur Smith give?
No. That question is right. Mike Tomlin is going to give him the power. Arthur Smith can't tell him anything. Arthur Smith has to go to Mike Tomlin, Joy, to even get the sign off on anything. So Mike Tomlin officially is the guy that's going to put Aaron Rodgers in charge of whatever they want to do in the passing game. It's not Arthur Smith.
That wasn't the question.
I know what the question says.
Yeah.
So Mike Tomlin should.
Mike Tomlin's not running the offense as it is.
But the offensive coordinator has to go to Mike Tomlin to say, get sign off. Mike Tomlin isn't sitting over there saying, you do what you want to do. I can promise you that. I can promise you he's not doing that.
I am giving Aaron Rodgers autonomy to have conversations with Arthur Smith about what kind of offensive game plan they want to implement.
But that is the power, though.
Yeah, that's the end of the power.
No, that's the power.
That is the end of it.
Once you start communicating with me about my do's and don'ts and my dislikes and likes, I got the power now.
Power to do what?
To run the plays that I like.
Yeah, that's it. You can.
But that's
absolutely.
I want that.
You can run the plays. I agree. We all agree Aaron Rodgers should have say in running the plays that he likes, particularly in the passing game.
Yes.
That's it. I don't care about what you think about personnel. I don't care about what you think about offensive coordinators.
That's going to be important.
I don't care about what you think about guys that you want to bring in. I don't care about what you think about who should be coaching the team. I don't care about any of that.
The important thing is for him, Arthur Smith, and Mike Tomlin to all be on the same page.
You know what?
They were not on the same page in New York. And the reason they wasn't on the same page in New York, because they allowed Aaron Rodgers to do what he wanted to. That's never going to happen with Mike Tomlin. It's never
That's what we're talking about.
No, but Joy, he did it because that's what the organization allowed him to do. Mike Tomlin is going to implement what's best for Aaron Rodgers for them to be successful. Two different situations. He had full control. He ran the whole organization in New York. Pittsburgh ain't even close to doing that. We all know that. We talked about this months ago. It's never going to happen. But they better have conversations with him, in particular, about the passing game and the run game mirroring with the passing game for them to be successful on offense.
I agree. That is the only...
But every quarterback don't get that.
That's the only input I'm interested in.
Okay, well, that's basically what the question is. It is. Stop.
You should have been a lawyer. What are we talking about? That's not what we're talking about here. Mr. Keyshawn Johnson.
Stop.
Got to answer the question that
I answered it.
Changing it. I think we're all on the same page, but I'm just answering a different question. Staying in the AFC North, the Ravens have had a ton of success of late, winning that division 2 years in a row. Baltimore has two-time MVP Lamar Jackson and has made the playoffs in 6 of Lamar's 7 seasons as the starter there. Despite all that success, the Ravens have been unable to get to a Super Bowl, losing their only AFC championship game to the Chiefs in Baltimore. Rashad Bateman has a new deal and says that the criticism of Lamar is, quote, mind-boggling to us in general. So, Paul, what do the Ravens need to change to get to the Super Bowl this season?
I'm not sure they need to change anything. I mean, they're trajecting in the right path because, I mean, you lose to the Chiefs one year, and then last year I believe they lost to Buffalo in Buffalo. Man, they just got to stay on the path. Because they have the thing about the Ravens, you got an MVP quarterback, you got the running back you need, you got a great offense, you got a great defense. You're going to need some luck along the road, I'm telling you, because that's what it takes to win, in all sports. You're going to have to be good and lucky. Hopefully they can get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That's what they should be playing for because they'll probably win the division. But they need to be playing for that home field. Not that that's going to matter because I know a couple years ago they lost to the Chiefs in Baltimore, I believe, yes. And if they get that opportunity again, I think they'll take advantage of it because they're the only team that I see in the AFC that just matches up with Philly. They like the Philly of the AFC when you talk about top to bottom, defense, offense. They got the edge at quarterback. Running backs is pretty the same. I mean, they just got to avoid – I can't even say who they got to avoid because they've lost to the two teams that they got to see every year. Just home field advantage and Lamar to continue to grow, and they can't beat themselves. I feel like they kind of beat themselves last year. Lamar threw a pick that didn't need to happen, and they'll be on their way because there's a lot of pressure on Baltimore. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of pressure on Baltimore. There's a lot of pressure on the Bills to get it done, and this is the year.
Yeah, every single year we talk about the Ravens at the start of the season about finishing strong at the end. So it's all about timing with them. For some reason, the timing is just off. The last 3 years they've lost to the Bills, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. 3 straight years. When you look at the winning percentage in the regular season, they need to carry that into the postseason. That's something that they haven't been able to do for whatever reason. It could be a fumble here, interception there, a guy beat on a touchdown here, or Mark Andrews dropping the football there. I mean, it's just it's always just the little things that's off. And that's really what it is. It has nothing to do with can they advance because they can. They just got to cut down the mistakes, the things that they do in the regular season, carry it into the postseason. Think about it. They lost to an AFC championship contender in terms of the Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl winning teams in the Chiefs, Super Bowl appearing team, AFC championship team in the Bengals. Yeah. They didn't lose in the playoffs to like the Raiders.
Right.
They're losing to real teams in the postseason, and they have to figure out how to get over that hump.
What do they need to change? I mean, nothing really. Yeah. They're right there every year. I think sometimes when we have a dynasty, we get a little spoiled with the idea that everyone is supposed to be having that level of success every single year. And the Chiefs have spoiled us. In some ways, we've seen this in the NBA too, like Golden State kind of set that precedent. Like, okay, well now you're supposed to go back every single year. You're supposed to win back-to-back championships. Like, no, it's actually really hard to do. And it's actually very rare. They've gotten to the AFC Championship. They're always knocking on the door. They're losing to great teams. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you break through. They have a great defense, an MVP-level quarterback, good coaching, a strong run game. Maybe they needed a little more experience at wide receiver. Their pass defense.
Well, they brought in DeAndre
Hopkins. Their pass defense last year was ranked 31st. So
that could help.
They could improve there. But when you're talking offensively, they're the third-ranked scoring offense, first-ranked total offense, seventh-ranked passing offense, number one ranked in rushing offense, third-ranked in third down offense, third fewest offensive turnovers. Like, there's not much room for improvement offensively. Defensively, the third down defense was 18th ranked, 31st ranked passing defense. So there's some things that they could maybe improve defensively, especially when you're talking about going up against the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs. For the last 5 years, those are the teams they've lost to. They lost to the Bills in 2020. They missed the playoffs, lost to the Bengals, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Bills. They're losing to the premier of the AFC. So the answer is continue to do what you're doing and continue to improve because eventually you'll break through. The idea that every single player, every single moment for a team is supposed to be multiple Super Bowl appearances or multiple Super Bowls. They've had an incredible run since Lamar has been there. They've only missed the playoffs once. They've been to an AFC championship game. They've showed improvement. He's won 2 league MVPs. you just kind of have to keep at it, keep improving in the places where you can. But it's not like you can look at something that they're doing and being like, this is obviously the problem. Like someone like a Cowboys. Obviously, you need to improve your rush defense. Obviously, you need to have a better run game. Obviously, you need to break through in the playoffs. There's not that kind of situation. Sorry to just, throw a line at the Cowboys there, but
the Cowboys are the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are the Cowboys. But this is a team that is right there.
They are right there, and their improvement is the postseason.
Yeah.
They've got to improve in the postseason. If you look at their regular season numbers, when you start talking about, like Lamar, for instance, completion percentage, he's at 65%. He's at 60 in the postseason. It drops. You talk about his yards per game. They're at 255, 219 in the postseason.
Yeah.
You start looking at the turnovers, 0.7 in the regular season, 1.5 in the postseason. You clean all of that up, that's your problems.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
But look who he's losing to.
That's fine.
Look who he's losing.
But he's only losing to them because the regular season doesn't match the postseason.
Yeah.
These are the same teams that he could see. He see the Cincinnati Bengals in the regular season.
Yeah.
He's losing to the consensus top
But
5
he sees
quarterbacks.
them and beats them every single year in the regular season. It's the postseason that's hurting them. It's literally the postseason.
Yeah. Well, Lamar Jackson, for his part, says there is something he needs to improve on: leadership. The two-time MVP believes he needs to be, quote, more vocal, adding that certain things I'm seeing, I got to voice it more, voice my opinion more to those guys. So, Paul, does Lamar need to be a better leader for the Ravens?
Well, if he say so, because I always thought of him as a good leader, because, when I watch his post-game interviews and how he comes off and how he speaks, he gives me leadership qualities. And, if he feels like, the thing is, they asked him, what does he need to work on, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't say nothing about his game, because you think about that. Most players will say, well, passing under pressure or this and that, because he's the complete quarterback. And it's the mental part of the game. And I remember, for me as a captain, as I, was a leader of the team, I tried to find different ways to lead. And he's saying that it's not. I don't think he's saying that he's not already a leader. I think he just has to find different ways to lead or get better leading. And for me, I remember what changed for me as I was like a leader who always telling guys, get to practice, do this, show this. As I became a better listener, I became a better leader. And it actually helped our ball club. And if he's meaning things of that nature, that could go a long way, because all the great teams have great leaders. And as Lamar continues to grow football-wise, leadership-wise, if he continues to grow, I don't see no issue with them getting over the hump and eventually winning a Super Bowl.
He knows what he needs to do. Yeah. And if he needs to be a little more active in terms of voicing his opinion to his teammates when things aren't going the way they should go, then he sees it. A lot of times, people can be quiet leaders and lead by example. I was that way. I led by example. Whether it was me getting in somebody's rear end, that's an example. You see what I'm doing, but I'm not going to act a certain way and be fake at it. And I don't want him to all of a sudden start being a rah-rah guy, and that's not who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for that out of him.
But maybe he's speaking more to holding guys accountable.
Yeah, and he'll grow into that naturally. As time goes by and he continues to see that things aren't going the way that they anticipate as a team, and whether it's dropping a football or the coach is calling a bad play, whatever that is, he certainly could see it, and then he can voice his opinion based on that. You don't want to all of a sudden be a manufacturer dude in the huddle. No, we don't want that. Come on, you ain't never done that.
No.
Now all of a sudden I got you in the huddle talking about everybody in here, everybody in. If I was like, he did that, I was on the team and he's never done that.
Let's have fun and play together.
Like looking at him going, yeah, everybody in here, let's have fun and play together. This was on us. We got to win. Nobody want to hear that, man. Go with all that.
My favorite.
Yeah, huddle up, guys. Let's go.
All time.
Can you not even playing in the game? Oh, get out of here.
We got to get that for the next break if we can. I know we have that tape somewhere.
Which tape?
Let's have fun and play together. Coming up, the Lakers got themselves a big man. What impact will DeAndre Ayton make in LA next season? We'll tell you that next on Speak. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel and SiriusXM. It's time to check in on our social life. The Lakers just added center DeAndre Ayton to the roster. Ayton will be the 9th #1 overall pick that LeBron has played with in his career. All right, Paul.
All right.
You're a historian of the game.
Wait, the ninth number one.
Name all of the number 1 picks that LeBron has played with.
Oh, wow. He played with Kyrie, for sure.
That's
He
easy.
played with Anthony Davis,
That's
for sure. He didn't play with Dwight Howard,
That's easy.
for sure. He didn't play with, who he playing with? Who on the team? Right now, nobody. Oh, right now, Ayton. Right? So how many is that? 4?
Yep.
Ain't on the team yet. He ain't signed.
In Miami, nobody was number 1 on that team.
That's not true.
Cleveland,
That's not
Miami.
true. No, heck no.
Shaq. No, he didn't play. He played with
Yeah,
Shaq.
Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq
he
was
played with
there,
Shaq.
but it was also somebody else too.
D-Wade wasn't. Derrick Rose.
D-Rose.
Yeah.
Rose. Damn, how many
You're
is
gonna
that?
miss this
7?
one. The reason you're gonna miss it is because he didn't play. He didn't really play. His
Yeah.
career didn't turn out the way it needed
You're
to.
missing 3.
He had some.
Okay, that's enough.
All right, go ahead. You got the
Giving
rest.
him hints.
You gonna let it go?
2 more. The other 2 played for the Cavs, and
He played
1
for the-
played for the Heat.
You got
Don't
it. You
play.
got it. She just
Got
gave
it.
you the damn teams.
The Cavs?
Yeah.
I said Derrick Rose,
Okay.
and then he played for the Cavs.
He got this in him.
Damn. Kyrie. I said Kyrie.
No, you didn't.
That's not
Yeah, no, he did say Kyrie.
you said
That's not who
Kyrie?
it is. That's not who it is.
Okay.
That's not Kyrie. Kevin.
He was
No, not
the
Kevin
number 1 overall pick in KG's.
Oh, he tall. He real tall.
Hey, G-
What's my first name?
95.
Right?
What's my first name? What's my first name?
Keyshawn.
No.
No, his
wait,
real
wait.
first name.
My
I'm trying
real
to think.
first name.
Joseph.
Yeah. Now what's his name?
Joe. Oh yeah, Joe Smith from Maryland.
There you
From
go.
Maryland.
See,
Joe
oh.
Smith. That's right.
Come
from
on.
Maryland.
You missing one though. The one you gonna miss because he never really turned out to be what he wanted to be.
Not the best knees.
But here's what I tell you. Here's how I'm gonna get Paul with this one. Paul, you'll know who it is.
He's from Indy.
And he looked 38 when he got drafted.
Damn. Who looked 38 when they got drafted?
And he was the number 1 pick
I
in the
can't
draft.
think that one. What's the
She
last?
just told you knees, and I said 38.
Knees 38. Who is that?
Creaky knees for sure.
Creaky knees.
He got my knees.
He had this right here.
Stop. Okay, enough.
Greg Oden. Ding. That's right. Hey, that gal's a good one right there. I remember that. Okay,
all right,
Greg
there's one
Oden.
more. You're missing
One more.
What's the one more?
Dang.
Cavs.
He played with the Cavs.
Kyrie, Joseph.
You did really well. So
Damn.
Joe Smith,
Kyrie.
Shaq, Dwight Howard, Greg Oden, Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, DeAndre Ayton, and there's one more.
Man, I can't even. Well,
You did really good.
I don't know this last
He's an ancestral white, right?
ancestral. Damn.
Oh, you talking about? I know you talking about.
Kevin Love?
No, not an ancestral white, actually. Not an American white, but a colonized white.
Andrew
We're
Bogut.
being
Bogut,
historic.
Andrew
Yes,
Bogut.
yes,
I
from
didn't know
Australia.
that. I
That's
didn't know
not
that.
ancestrally
I don't
white.
remember him playing with Andrew Bogut.
Yep,
Oh, okay.
pretty good.
Man, I don't think I ever
Let's be
played with a number
historically
one
accurate on
pick.
this show.
Could you name yours that you play with?
Probably only like Blake Griffin
No.
that I played with.
Yeah.
I played with Blake Griffin.
Man, didn't you play for the Wizards?
Oh, John Wall, Blake Griffin.
Come on, man. Stop
In
it.
Brooklyn, was there somebody?
Nope. The other 3 were with the Celtics.
With the Celtics.
You
I mean,
You and LeBron share a teammate that was number 1 overall pick.
The Diesel.
Oh, Diesel. That's right.
How I know all this and you don't?
Man. Because I played with the number 1 picks that was like over. They was way past their prime.
Like Olo Candy?
Yeah, it was over.
Why are you giving him all the picks?
Candy, right?
All right, yes. And there's one more, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Number 1 pick. They didn't act like it when they played with me. Or it would have took me 10 years to get a ring.
Purvis.
Purvis Ellison.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. See, they didn't act like number 1 picks.
Oh, my God.
Dang.
Olo Candy.
Purvis Ellison,
Hey.
Shaq.
Shaq was cooked when he got to the
But you
Celtics.
knew it was Shaq, though.
No, I know, but he was cooked. You know, he had got hurt. He would have helped us, though. But he was cooked. Purvis was cooked.
Was
who else
Blake cooked by then?
Blake, John
was
Wall, and
cool.
Michael.
Blake was cool. John Wall was good. He got hurt. John Wall was good. John Wall was the best number 1, played the best.
Of the number 1
Of the
overall
number
picks.
1
that
overall
played.
picks that I played with.
All right, well, focusing in on the Lakers' acquisition of Ayton, the top pick for the 2018 draft finalized a buyout with the Blazers over the weekend, with his representatives stating his desire to join a contender for this season. Ayton has now reportedly agreed to sign a 2-year deal with the Lakers where he will be the projected starting center. Ayton has consistently delivered 15-plus points and 10-plus rebounds a game over his 7-year career with Phoenix and Portland. So, Paul, the Lakers are now a top what team in the West?
Yeah, this is a good one because they were a number 3 seed last year, but, they're not better than OKC. Those are the champs. Listen, Houston got better. They were a fake number 2 team. They're a legit number 2 team in the West. So I got OKC, Houston, Denver. That's 3. I got Minnesota. They showed that. That's 4. They can finish anywhere between 5 and 7. Because you got Clippers and Golden State with a full year of Jimmy. I'm going to give them a play-in, 7. That's what it's looking like.
But that's still, you just talking now, though.
I just named off the team.
But you just talking, Paul.
Like Clippers, Golden State. They're not better than OKC, Houston, Denver, many. We're going to move them to the side. We're going to start the Lakers at 5.
They're not better than OKC.
Houston.
Even though they play OKC well in the regular season, they're not better than them based
Houston,
on the championship.
what they did.
Houston is whatever.
Denver.
They got rid of some stuff and they added KD, so I will put them at 2.
They added a lot of pieces.
But I'm KD right now.
Denver.
All them other stuffs. And then 3, I got the Lakers at 3.
Denver got way better.
No, I'm adding the Lakers at 3.
So you got them at a mini, and you see the way mini did them?
Yeah, but that was on before we got a before we got a rim protector, and I'm sure we're not done yet. What you mean?
Man, I don't know. I got them 7.
But Paul, see.
I just named. They're not better than these 4 teams for sure.
You're not for sure. You don't know that. You don't know that.
I know that 100%.
You can't be for sure.
I'm 100%.
I'll give you the champs in OKC. I'll give you Houston based on the acquisitions of KD.
Denver's acquisitions.
I can't.
Denver pushed OKC to 7, and they got better.
Yeah, for some reason they got a new coach.
And they
hung
put
around.
the Lakers out 2 years prior.
Yeah, but I can't. But we got a big that can slow him down to some degree.
Well, he been traded 3 times in 6 years.
But in 20. Think about his last season. DeAndre Ayton's last season in Arizona, Phoenix. He was giving you 18 points and 10 boards. Okay?
I get it.
The dude, since he's been in the league, is average of 15 points a game and 10 boards. So that's
why has he
something.
been traded around?
Sometimes it's bad situations, though, Paul. First of all, he didn't get along with in Phoenix. He didn't get along with Monty. They just didn't see eye to eye. He was part of that package to get KD. Was it KD? Yeah, it was part of the package to move KD. It was KD moved, right? Yeah. They moved him to Portland. That was all part of that whole deal. He doesn't want to be in Portland because he wants to be in a situation where he feels he can thrive in, and I believe it's going to be LA.
I'm going top 6.
That ain't a number, though.
I got him.
What is that? You playing now?
She got him number 6.
No, she said top 6.
That means
I got him at 6.
She got him at 6.
She ain't.
No, I got him at 5.
They can range in between. Like Clippers and Golden State.
I think they're in the 5 to 7 range.
Yes.
But I would have them at 5. I agree with you. I think OKC, Houston, Denver, and Minnesota are ahead of them right now. The reason I wouldn't put the Warriors above them, even though I do hear you on a year with Jimmy Butler, I don't think they made.
With Jimmy Butler.
They didn't make any moves. They didn't make any other moves to improve this offseason. The Clippers always do a bunch of stuff and get excited during the regular season and then disappoint in the postseason. So I can't put the Clippers above them right now. But if anywhere in the 5 to 7 range, I think is safe for the Lakers.
And you got to take into effect that LeBron is only going to probably play, let's say LeBron plays 65 games.
Well,
he's not going to play 82 at this age. You're going to have to rest him at times. I'll give him 65 games.
Damn, he not, that ain't even English. He's not going to do that.
What? He's not going to do what?
Resting. He's not going to rest that way.
Something's going to happen.
Why you laughing, Joy?
You can't say he not.
No, he not. That just didn't come. It didn't. No, I don't like the way that sounds.
65 games for LeBron. I expect Luka to play 65.
See, I expect for both of them to be in the 70 category.
That's a lot.
I don't think that.
But they trying to put it together though, man.
I don't think that LeBron is that much of a defensive liability. I don't think that he can guard all 5 positions anymore, but if we're talking about who's the best defensively between him, Luka, and Reeves, I'm still going with LeBron.
Yeah, they still got a lot of issues defensively.
But the problem is they still need help on defense. If you're looking at the projected starting lineup of Luka, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton, they did add a rim protector and a big lob threat, but
that was one of our biggest issues.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest issues, but you still have 3 players, at the very least 2, in Luka and Reeves, who are essentially defensive liabilities.
Yeah.
I don't call LeBron a defensive liability because I still think he can defend. He just can't defend at the level that he used to be able to defend. Yeah, but those 2, you still need a third defender.
Yeah. They have no perimeter defense.
Right.
This is a perimeter-driven league. I would try to find a way to...
where are they getting the perimeter defense?
No perimeter defense. That's what I'm saying. So, the teams that's all ahead of them got pure athletes on the wing. It's going to be tough for them to crack the top 5, I believe. But I believe they're around 6.
Unless they make some more moves.
Well, the season hasn't even started, so...
You know what? Key's some timing, because yesterday he was like, it's fine. We still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Now he's on it, and we're all wrong. With the addition of DeAndre Ayton comes a season after the Lakers trade for center Mark Williams fell through, leaving Jackson Hayes as the only big on the roster. Hayes fell out of favor with Coach J.J. Redick, who has praised Ayton in the past, and LeBron's agent Rich Paul caused a stir recently saying that teams had reached out to him about trading for LeBron, but maybe signing Ayton quiets those rumors. So, can DeAndre Ayton coexist with LeBron and J.J. Redick in L.A.?
Absolutely. He's got an opportunity now, as I mentioned it a second ago. He didn't ask to be drafted by the Phoenix Suns. They drafted him.
Right.
He didn't ask to be traded to Portland. They traded him. This is the first time in his career that he gets to choose his destination, okay? This is the first time. And so when you get the opportunity to choose your destination, you know whether or not you could coexist with the people that you chose. That's just what it is. I'm not going somewhere that I can't thrive and be able to do what I'm capable of doing. And in terms of this coming to meetings late, lazy, all that sort of stuff, you can look at other people in the organizations that you with and you learn from their habits and you take from those sort of things. So whatever was going on in Phoenix, in Portland, has nothing to do with Los Angeles. So absolutely he can coexist. Think about, you talk about lob threats, he was 9th in lobs, 9th in the league, and only played 40 games. So that in itself allows them to have something different on the offensive side. So I think it's going to work the way it's supposed to. I really do. I'm glad to see that he landed in the perfect spot for himself. We tried to get Williams last year. It didn't work via trade because of medical issues. I don't foresee us having any problems signing him, and he'll be our center.
You think he can exist?
He's one of the only real true, think about it, he's only one of the real true bigs that's left. Mm-hmm. All the other bigs are trying to shoot from where Paul was shooting from, because Paul, he wouldn't play with his back to the ball.
He should not be shooting from where.
No, that's not his game. His game is 18, exactly what we need.
Yeah, 18% from 3.
No, he can keep that.
Yeah.
I think this is a situation where he has to. Think about it. You only get so many chances in this league. When you start hearing about things of his off the court. No, seriously. You like him rubbing coaches the wrong way, teammates and things of that nature. Now, this is probably the perfect stop for him to go to a culture with LeBron, J.J. Redick, and Luka, so he can see how to really, truly be a professional. Because the kid has talent. It has nothing to do with anything else. He just needs a better structure around what he needs to do day to day. And LeBron and JJ can give him that. Because when you talk about 15 and 10, them is great numbers.
That is great.
Them is great numbers. And you wonder, I wonder why he's not sticking. Well, it's the other stuff he's not getting. Is he showing up every day? Is he listening to the scout report? Is he got any friends on the team? I don't know. It's just it's character issues that we're talking about. So hopefully he can change those things under the tutelage.
But why are those character issues? Are they
Because
real
it's the lack
issues?
of leadership in his locker room.
Or is it a lack of leadership in the locker room?
Yeah, it is.
Or is it, I don't want to be here anymore, so I'm going to do anything to get up out of here. I'm going to make it so uncomfortable that they're going to have to move.
The thing is, when you do stuff like that, you're messing with your money.
Well, of course he,
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he's supposed to be...
unless there is, you know, a real story out there that kind of defends your character, you as the player are going to be the one that ends up bearing the brunt of that choice. So if you force your way out through character issues, that's what they're going to call it. Not like, more often than not, they're going to default to it's the player's fault and not the team's fault. So that's
but
the
I've
position
seen
that you're
it. But
putting
I've
yourself
seen
in.
it where the team didn't help the player, and the
For
player
sure.
became a disgruntled player, or coming late to buses, or missing rehab, because at the end of the day, all they want to do is get out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it. It's so toxic.
Yeah, but we don't
that they just
often
wanna
get that
out of there.
nuance. So it just gets put on the player that the player is the problem and not the team.
Yeah, it's your surroundings, too. I mean, think about it. He had the 1 year, he played with Chris Paul, which is...
Great leadership. That was
consider
big.
a great leader. But then you got out of that structure and you go to Portland. No
Much
real
as I
leadership.
love Chauncey, they ain't got no real leadership.
No real leadership up there. Listen, like, your surroundings mean a lot. Like, when KG and Ray came to the team, I was a different player.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with my character, but, like, their influence was great on me. And I could see that coming from Luka and LeBron because they respect it. They're respected.
Luka, LeBron, JJ.
Like, he has no choice at this stage in his career because we're talking about a guy that can make a lot of money in this league. When you looking around, start seeing these contracts getting signed, and you ain't in the mix, and you was the #1 player coming out.
Think about the guys that went behind him, and Luka, Jaren Jack, Trey Young, Shea, Jalen Brunson. They all got the bags.
Yeah.
And they all went to All-Star games, and, they all fell behind him. So he has the potential.
I mean, that's what a good culture does, right? Like, the standard is the standard.
Right.
Like, for all the things that go on in the Lakers building, and we all know it's a complicated place to work sometimes, the standard is the standard on the court. Like, JJ is a former player. He's did a tremendous job with them last year. LeBron, no one's questioning his work ethic or his dedication to the game. And Luka has a lot to prove this year. So you can't really walk into a building like that and not be up to standard. Like, you're just you won't last.
Yeah, and if it don't work out this time around with the Lakers, then he can find himself either out the league or just playing on small deals his rest of his career.
You say, Paul, when you start moving around.
You start moving around a lot, that's the beginning of the end.
Coming up, Micah Parsons and TJ Watt both want new deals, but which one deserves to be the highest paid non-quarterback? That's next on Speak. Time to check in on our social life. Steelers running back Jalen Warren is taking off-season workouts to another level by dragging soccer goals around the field.
Crazy.
Is this doing too much, Key?
Man, come on.
No, but
Come on, man.
I don't remember soccer goal being that heavy.
Damn.
What?
I just don't remember. Is it you play soccer? Is it heavy? Or could you move it around?
I mean, I'm sure if I got the right leverage, I could slide it a few inches. I can't drag it on a rope up a hill.
I mean,
It looked crazy. It
looked crazy. It's like the tire, basically, probably pulling the tire, pulling.
How much you think that weighed?
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember it being that heavy, though. I just really don't.
It just looked crazy.
What do you mean it's not that heavy?
For him, it's not that heavy, clearly, because he's doing it.
Work. Yeah, that's light work.
Yeah, it looked cute.
This is not.
It looked
You know
good.
what?
It looked cracking.
No, unimpressive, Jalen. Take it up a notch. Two of them uphill.
Oh,
Look
that
at this.
is uphill. Oh, I didn't see that.
Man.
Nah, that's crazy. Oh, it wasn't that time. Yeah, let's see Paul's workout.
I'm sweating. Yeah,
Wait.
Get them as hundreds.
Why are we only showing Paul's
That's
workout?
hundreds. Oh,
I share
yeah.
workout content.
I ain't sharing nothing in a while. Them the hundreds right there. Let's get it.
Key, where's your workout?
I don't be doing that.
Key,
Hey,
Paul in here, give it Paul in here going. You think so heavy, man? You gotta light
put your
up.
phone on the what you do, the elliptical?
I can't be in there doing that.
You do the elliptical?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Treadmill?
I did the treadmill yesterday. I did the treadmill
yesterday.
yesterday. I got a good one in yesterday. Tomorrow.
But all that,
Taking tomorrow off.
It's a lot.
I still think we should do a show workout.
Yeah.
See who survives.
We can do that. I'm down. Key couldn't do them sit-ups that day. He did like 2
He
of them.
wasn't gonna do no sit-ups. It ain't that I couldn't. I'm just not, let y'all sweating and stuff, man. Like, come on, man.
Sticking with the Steelers, 2021 Defensive Player of the Year TJ Watt needs a contract extension to avoid becoming an unrestricted free agent after this season. Watt reportedly wants to become the highest paid non-quarterback, but the team saw a decline in Watt's output last season, according to reports. Watt has some competition for the highest paid non-quarterback, though. Micah Parsons is in negotiations for an extension with the Cowboys before the final year of his deal. Keith?
Wait, hold on. I'm adjusting my.
Paul?
Did you
Does
say?
Parsons? What?
No, I had to adjust it. Did you say they saw decline in his play last year?
Allegedly.
They should trade him then. I dare them to. I dare them to. I love that. They saw decline in his play. You think he saw decline in his play? No.
I mean, I didn't.
No, he didn't. That's why he's asking for some new money. But go ahead.
Who deserves to be the highest paid non-quarterback?
Between the two, whoever goes last. So if Micah goes first, then he'll be the guy for a day. And then TJ will take over. TJ goes first, then Micah will take over. That's the way it is. Whoever goes first, I'm waiting on you.
You think that's what's going on right now?
No, that's not necessarily what's going on, but you can make it that way. Mm-hmm. Negotiations with the Pittsburgh Steelers is starting off by saying he declined. So that's the number one thing.
Not a good sign.
No, but that's cap, though. That's just them playing negotiation games. When you start negotiating, you know how they start
Well, what
telling
you mean? Did he decline or not?
No, he didn't decline. If he did, trade him then. I dare you. If he's not good,
No, we
you
ain't
should
saying
trade
he's
him.
not good.
If he's not
The
the
team
best,
saw
trade
a
him.
decline in Watt's output last season, according to reports.
Yeah, trade him.
No, they're not trading. I need him for next
So
year.
pay me.
They will. They
That's
will.
exactly. So they can miss me with all the semantics
But I'm
and the
not
antics
sure
and everything
paying him.
else.
But is paying him,
all the
making him the
texts.
highest paid non-quarterback the right move for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is it the
If
right
you want to
move?
win, if you want to have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and company and Warren and all those dudes, you need to pay him.
They're 1-11 without him. So
What's the number?
Lying.
1-11.
Which is what?
Career.
Bad.
Bad. Bad.
He was less effective in 2024, 11.5 sacks. Ooh. He led the league with 19 in 2023.
Okay, so it's a decline
he
because
still posted an NFL best 6 forced fumbles and played in all 17 games.
and that's a decline. Okay, well, I know a number of teams that'll take that decline. They should move him. They don't want to pay him.
If I'm gonna be giving away this type of money, I'm giving it to Micah. I can't. If I
Well,
have
the Steelers
both,
aren't paying Micah.
No, yeah, but I'm just That's still. I don't know if I can make a 30-year-old TJ Watt the highest paid non-QB. You know what I'm saying?
It's just an average.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he'll get his money, but it doesn't have to be that number. And I want to go with the younger guy.
He wants that number. It's the number he wants. He's not happy with the number that he already makes. That's why he's telling them, pay me as the highest paid non-quarterback.
Who deserves it?
They both do.
They both deserve it.
do, and whoever goes
I'm gonna
last.
feel better giving it to Micah because Micah's younger. He ain't even reached his prime
But
yet.
I'm not trying to, I don't care about 10 years from now. I care about
I'm paying
right
for what
now.
you're about to do,
Yeah.
not what you already done.
And he's about to go crazy for the next couple of years again.
I mean, it's whoever signs last.
It really is.
They're both going to get paid.
Yeah.
And if the Steelers are serious about winning it all, they're going to pay him. The only way that they would even consider or should consider trading him is if someone gives them enough first-round picks that they could trade up into the draft and get their quarterback of the future. That's the only way I'm even considering trading TJ Watt. They're bad without him, and
They're 1-11.
he's the best player on the team, has been the best player on the team, has literally won them games when their offense has not been able to produce points. Yeah. Whoever signs last is going to make more money, but we're not talking about a big gap here. Jamar Chase on average annual value is $40.2 million. Myles Garrett is $40 million. So we're talking about the difference of a couple $1 million. It's not like TJ is going to sign first, and then Micah is going to get an additional $10 million because of whatever TJ's number is. And it's not going to be that much more significantly higher than Jamar or Miles because they signed recently. So there isn't going to be a massive jump beyond that, and whoever signs last isn't going to jump them much more either. It's just a matter of I believe that Micah will sign first because TJ is actually holding out. Micah's there.
But TJ is holding out because TJ's made a lot of money already too.
Right.
So he could
I mean, but you could argue that because Micah hasn't made the amount of money that TJ's made, that he'd be more inclined to say to.
No, but what I'm saying is TJ is holding out. Well, first of all, he's not holding out because ain't nothing to do. But if it comes time in the off season, I mean, in the summer comes and he's still holding out, it's because he's got enough cushion to where he's not really stressing or worried about it at that point. Micah wants to get his deal done so he can get into the TJ arena where next time around he'll have his nest egg and be able to hold out and tell him what he wants to. Right now, he's got to play nice.
Well, heading over to Kansas City, the Chiefs have won the AFC the last 3 years, and one NFL insider expects the Kansas City offense to be, quote, electric. Despite the recent years of dominance in the conference, though, the Chiefs enter this season with the third best odds to win the AFC. Paul?
Yep.
Should the Chiefs be the AFC favorites?
They should absolutely be the favorites, and I'll tell you why. They've won it 9 in a row, I believe.
The AFC West,
The AFC West, and they should be the AFC favorites once again. We're talking about a team that only lost 1 game with Mahomes as a starter in the regular season, and yeah, they lost really bad in the Super Bowl, but check this out. Think about this. Now, Mahomes, I pulled up these numbers. Mahomes averaged 6.8 yards per pass, the worst of his career. 245 passing yards per game, the worst of his career. He threw a touchdown 4.5% of his passes, the second lowest of his career. Now, you telling me he's going to duplicate this after knowing he did all this and the way they lost in the Super Bowl? Nah, I think we're going to see Mahomes come back with a chip on his shoulder. There's been a lot of disrespect this offseason with the way they went out. I think he's going to let everybody know why he's the best quarterback in the NFL and a generational talent. I just can't see with the motivation they have. I'm seeing Travis Kelce shed some weight. I'm hearing they're healthy, for the first time. They weren't even a healthy team last year. And we going to disrespect the Chiefs like this? Listen, y'all can put y'all money somewhere else. My money on the Chiefs.
They shouldn't, first of all, be favored in the AFC. Because I don't have them favored in their own division. I got the Chargers. But they got left tackle issues that they have to address and figure that out. His protection problems in the past is what has gotten them into trouble in the postseason because the protection is just, it breaks down. Look, they're getting Rashee Rice back healthy. Hopefully he'll be the same guy that he was when he left. Hollywood Brown will finally maybe get a chance to stay healthy to help them out as far as the receivers go. They're right kind of where they need to be. But looking at their schedule, their first 7 or 10 games are all against playoff opponents. They got 7 games out of 10 against playoff opponents. That's tough. That's not an easy schedule. Now, when they get on the back end of the schedule, it gets a little bit lighter. But when you talk about playing a team out the gate against the Chargers in Los Angeles, out the gate, game 1.
No, it's in Brazil.
Oh, is it? What?
It's in
Brazil.
Chargers, but in Brazil.
In Brazil. So it's a neutral site. You got Philadelphia. You jump over the Giants. You got Baltimore. You jump over Jags. You got Detroit, although I think Detroit will be different because of the staff. I don't know what the Raiders will be. I like the Raiders. They won a playoff team. You got Washington, you got Buffalo, then you got a bye, then you got Denver. That's a gauntlet that they're going to have to go through with some question marks on the offensive side of the ball for them. So I don't think they win division. I think they still make the playoffs. Now, the division is over with. I know they won it 9 in a row, but it comes to an end.
I think they win the division again.
Okay.
And
talk about it.
Until someone beats them, I'm not giving the AFC away yet.
Well, we ain't giving this away.
No, they're going to be healthier. They're the big dogs. Like I'm just not.
It's okay to say,
Debo. Yeah.
That's
That's
okay.
Debo. Come on, man. This is the Chiefs. This is Patrick Mahomes. Do we consider Patrick Mahomes an all-time great quarterback or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he falling off, you think?
No.
And he had one of his worst statistical years. You think he's going to follow that up again?
He might have a great season. Doesn't mean they're going to be bad.
I truly believe
it just
he's
means
going to
somebody else will win the division.
He's going to be back in the MVP talks this year.
That may be
I
true.
guarantee you.
It's just somebody else is going to win the division.
No, but if he's in MVP talks, that means they're going to be winning a lot.
Yeah, but I think Lad McConkey and the Chargers are going to win a lot too.
Man, I don't know, dog. I'm telling you. We just sleeping on the Chiefs
I
because we're
am
bored.
banning Lad McConkey's name from the show until he comes on. Where is Lad McConkey?
I don't know.
Yeah, he'll be here. We'll get him here.
Ridiculous. Coming up, how far can Aaron Rodgers take Mike Tomlin and the Steelers in the playoffs? Six-time Pro Bowler Gerald McCoy joins us to break it down next on Speak. The Steelers are going all in this year with Aaron Rodgers. They made big moves to get DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey. Now, former Steelers head coach and Super Bowl champ Bill Cowher says that Mike Tomlin should give Rodgers full control of the offense. Six-time Pro Bowler and NFL analyst Gerald McCoy is joining us now. Thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all know y'all my extended family. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, cousin. How far do you think Rodgers can lead the Steelers?
I think Bill Cowher is making a mistake by saying that. I said last year that the only real destination for Aaron Rodgers is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and let me tell you why. Sometimes players transcend their head coaches. He can't do that to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is going to tell him, hey, take a back seat, let me handle this. So how far can they go? How far back on the bus is Aaron Rodgers willing to sit? You're not the lead guy anymore. We have a formula here. The problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers is they've gotten into the playoffs and they don't have a guy that can make the throws. All they need him to do is make those particular throws that they need a quarterback to make that these guys haven't been able to make. So if Aaron Rodgers is willing to take a back seat and just play his role, they can go as far as the AFC Championship because they have the defense. Well, you got to get TJ back in the building, but they have the defense. They have a formula that's been working, but what they've run into is they haven't had a quarterback that can make those particular throws only when we need you to. We don't need you to have full reign. Full reign ain't been working for Aaron Rodgers. He's not there anymore. As good as he is, he can make every throw, but full reign, not anymore. He can still be A-Rod, but he has to modify which A-Rod he is. And I think they can make it all the way to the AFC Championship because they have everything necessary.
You know, there's a couple things that I agree with you on. They can make it to the AFC Championship game with him at the quarterback position because I think he's better than Justin Fields and he's better than Russell Wilson. He just needs to be in the right situation. Here's the problem that I have with the conversation about him taking control, the reins, all that. He's not going to be in control. Mike Tomlin is going to be in control. But
Absolutely.
you have to let Aaron Rodgers, at times, push the football down the field because 3 yards in a cloud of dust is only going to get you 9, 10 wins. They're going to set you up for where you need to be come the postseason. That's part of their problem. They don't know how to throw the football. And look, a lot of people, you might know this as a defensive player, player that studies these things from an offensive standpoint. When you have an offensive coordinator that only really knows one thing, which is running the football, he doesn't really understand the passing game, you have to include Aaron Rodgers in that. You just do. Now, I'm not saying give Aaron Rodgers the keys and let him go crazy like he was doing with the Jets, but you want to talk to your star quarterback on things he likes, things he don't like, because you want to put him in the great situations, not bad situations, to be successful. And I think that's what I think that's what Mike Tomlin and the offense is going to do.
Yeah, I think he has enough. I think he has enough moxie. He is still Aaron Rodgers. Let's not get it twisted. This is still a 4-time MVP, a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest we've ever seen. So they're going to have those conversations. But like you said, they need a quarterback that can push the ball down the field when they need it to happen. Keep the formula, but what does he like? What type of plays does he like? What does he want to do? But control, no, he does not need to have total control. Like you said, I don't think he will. Mike Tomlin's going to have control, but now they got a guy who can push the ball down the field, figure out what he likes, Let them get on the same page with the rest of his guys, and they have a formula where they can get to the AFC Championship.
G-Money, what up? All right, we've been talking about
What's the
this
word?
last few weeks, but for you, who do you think is the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC?
Whoa, surprise, surprise, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh,
yes, I said this.
Tampa.
Yes, I said this. Listen, Jalen Hurts' kryptonite is the Bucs. Just look at his history versus the Bucs. The same team that played last year. I know they had a few injuries, but what was the Bucs' issues last year? They know they can run the ball. They just picked up a number one wide receiver. Mike Evans is still there. Chris Godwin is going to shake back. But then defensively, am I still there? Y'all got me?
Yeah.
I froze. Okay. Defensively, what was the Bucs' Achilles heel? They couldn't rush the passer. So they had to blitz a lot.
Right.
Okay. So what do you go out and do? You get his son ready. Now he's coming off the edge. You go draft 2 defensive linemen. And if you're going to blitz a lot, which Todd Bowles likes to do, you have to be able to play man in the back end. So what they do in the second and third round, they went and got 2-man corners. They addressed all the issues that can be a problem versus these other teams. They have the offense. Now they have people that can rush the passer and they can already stop the run. Now they got people can lock up in the back end. The Bucs are the Eagles' Achilles heel. Todd Bowles just have Jalen Hurts' number. So to me, unbiasedly, I truly believe the Bucs can be a threat to the Eagles.
He said unbiasedly.
Yeah, no bias whatsoever.
No bias
No bias whatsoever. Not in that one.
Hurts is 1-4 against the Bucs, including the playoffs. So you might be on something there. What about the division, though? Because I do think the division is going to be take the Saints out of it. I don't have very high expectations for the Saints this year, but I kind of like Atlanta. Kind of like what Carolina was cooking with last year. Do you think that the division will be better?
Yeah, the division is definitely going to be better. The youngin in Carolina, he started to figure it out at the end of the year. And then Atlanta, Michael Penix, we seen what he was capable of and why he got drafted so high. Then he steps into the starting lineup, and we got a little glimpse of what he can be. You go out in the first round, you get 2 dynamic rushers. Now it's like, okay, wait, hold up. Their Achilles heel was rushing the passer too, but now I know Raheem Morris. That's who drafted me. I know what he's trying to do defensively. Jacquez Smith, one of my closest friends, I played with him in Tampa. I know how he's coaching these guys. So defensively, Atlanta is going to be a headache, but there is no substitution for camaraderie. Even though they're getting all these great players, you still need guys that can lead them, and you need a group that's been together for a while that knows how to win these close games. Tampa has done that, even though the Atlanta fans say, well, Gerald, we beat y'all twice last year, and where did they get you? Doesn't matter. You got to beat these other teams. So, yes, the division definitely will be better, but I still got Tampa winning.
Hey, Joe, let's switch over to the AFC. The Chiefs have had basically a stranglehold on the AFC conference, let alone the division, 9 straight division titles coming to Kansas City. Who do you think has a better chance of knocking off the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, or the Chargers?
I'm going to still go with the Ravens. Lamar is still Lamar. I know, a lot of people think that that's where vet wide receivers go to, quote unquote, unalive themselves. They got D-Hop. I think he'll be a good possession guy for him. But defensively, they're only going to get better. They drafted who I believe is the best defensive player, if not player, in the entire draft, and Malachi Starks. This guy, you could put him in the box. He can roam all over the place. And Key, if any place is a place where vets return to help the young guys, it's the Baltimore Ravens. And they understand Ray Lewis is going to be around that building. Ed Reed, I know he's coaching his son, but he'll be around the building. These guys will be in and out of the building helping this team. And I believe top to bottom with what they've done, they have the best shot of knocking off the Chiefs.
Gee, we're going to switch to defense, something you know a little bit about. Who is your early defensive player of the year pick?
Man, I was thinking about this, and without really diving into rosters and who they're going to play, I'm just going to go Micah Parsons. He's due for one. Some people come through and they're generational and they're special. And he's been special since he's stepped into the league. And he's just due for a defensive player of the year to just finish it off and go out there and show that he's one of those top guys. You know, you got Myles Garrett, who's 1-1, TJ Watt, who's 1-1, but I just think Micah Parsons is due. It's about that time where he really turns that corner, and he's already stamped, but he's really a stamp himself if he gets that defensive player of the year.
Man, I just got through watching them Micah Parsons highlights. That's the move I was doing.
Okay. So
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Gerald, wait. We got.
Hell, it's not.
We have to show
That's
you.
the exact move. Now, that's my new one. Yeah, that's what Micah Parsons was doing. Right there. I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting some motion with that one.
Hey, that's the same way you was holding your hands when you had that cramp and you had to go to the back and you came out the tunnel. Remember how you came out the tunnel like this? That's the same way you was holding your hands. See, listen, I love you to death, but you got the hips up. No. You got the hips of a 70-year-old homeless man. That ain't gonna get it, big dog.
Man,
That ain't it, man. Nah. Hey, no.
That's what I just seen Micah Parsons doing right there.
The fact that you raised up, you know the first thing a left tackle gonna do to you?
Boy, he gonna punch you right in your
Man,
chest.
he gonna hit him right there. Bam!
Man, listen, that vacation you worried about, he gonna send you there early. For sure. You stand up doing that.
He also believes that he can beat Vita Vea in a 40-yard
Yeah. Come on, right now.
race.
Right now.
Relax,
y'all
man.
crazy.
We listen, the NFL produces mutants, so don't be fooled by his size and none of that.
Nah, ain't nobody
You
over.
can't beat Vita in no race,
Nah,
dog.
ain't nobody over
You can't do
300
it.
can beat me in a
You
race.
taking Vita or you taking
Ain't nobody
Paul
over
in a
300.
40-yard dash?
Man,
Right?
that ain't him
Old
right
man
now.
hips?
No,
You talking about old man
No, we
hips?
talking about
Nah,
straight
man.
running. We talking about straight
Vita,
running.
yeah, straight running, he'll smoke you.
Nah, he ain't gonna smoke me.
Come on, man.
Nah, listen. That what we just saw Vita, that was his rookie year. He ain't that fast no more.
He can still run, man.
Man, I know he can run, but I'll be
Okay.
on the treadmill still.
Okay, but listen, you are how far removed from playing?
Well,
I
you
just,
go all the way
I
back
just-
to Boston.
I just went to the gym yesterday, got some shots up.
No, all the way back
No,
when
I
he played
said
in
from
Boston.
being a professional under contract
Hey, when the
NBA
last time I
player. You are
played?
2
7 years, 8
Vita
years?
he's in the middle. He's coming off a Pro Bowl season.
I understand.
You're not beating that dude in no race,
I'm
man.
talking about a race though. 40-yard
I'm
dash.
telling you,
Paul.
yes, RACE.
No. No, Paul, no.
ULOSE.
I weigh
Lose.
250.
You're not gonna beat him right now.
He
So-
weighed 330
You're not gonna
pounds.
beat him right now. It's just not gonna happen.
That ain't beating me.
Oh man, the delusion.
that
It's
ain't gonna beat me.
ridiculous.
Listen, that's
Yeah,
how
that
it
is.
works. We're a delusional bunch. We like it that way. Thank you for joining us, Gerald. Have a great holiday weekend. We appreciate you.
All right, G Money.
Appreciate it.
Hey man,
Love y'all, man. Thank you.
no raisins in the potato salad now.
On 4th of July,
Hey,
right?
On
No.
4th of July. Okay, I'm just checking.
No, sir.
hey,
I'm
make
from
sure-
Oklahoma, man.
Hey,
I'm from
make sure-
Southside
make
Oklahoma
sure you
City.
got a
We
good-
don't do that.
Make sure you got a good mac and cheese.
Yeah, no breadcrumbs on the
Yeah,
top
for
either.
sure.
Okay.
No, man. Tighten up.
All right.
Tighten up.
Sure. All right.
All right, G.
All right.
Coming up, lock in. Is LeBron right that Kevin Durant is the most equipped scorer the NBA has ever seen? That's next on Speed. LeBron James is considered by many to be the greatest player of all time, but he recently paid a huge compliment to one of his rivals and contemporaries, Kevin Durant. Folks recently have suggested that LeBron doesn't really have a bag, but Bron thinks KD may have the deepest bag in NBA history. Let's take a listen.
And I was reading a stat earlier, the fact that he hasn't, I don't want to speak like he's not here, but he's so great. I like to do it sometimes.
Thank
Like,
you, brother. Appreciate it.
He hasn't shot under 50% since like 2012. And in a league that doesn't talk about efficiency enough, because I'm one of those efficiency guys. Like I hate going out there just chucking up shots or, looking at the box score and I was maybe 8 for 23 or 9 for 25 or 6 for 18. Like you're gonna have those nights for sure.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the season, like being efficient, is something I've always prided myself on. And this guy is, when it comes to 3-level score, 3-pointers, mid-range, below the Gary Payton area, below the Malone area, and finishing. It's we haven't had a scorer as equipped as KD in our league, ever.
I'm trying to think what the most equipped. I'm still trying to, because I
Got everything in the bag. He got in his toolbox. He got it all. He just got everything. That's what he say.
Because I was pretty equipped. When I think about it, I'm just saying, like,
Could you pull up from the elbow?
I need to be in this conversation.
Could you pull up from the elbow?
I got all that.
Could you knock down the three?
All that.
Could you back him down?
3-point contest champ.
Could you turn around?
All of that. Post ups.
Could you dunk?
All of that. I was shoot, and I must have been one of the most equipped. Look, here we go. Boom. Who's this? I'm to the rack.
Okay.
3 people.
I ain't got to show a Laker highlight, but I get it.
Yeah, look. Oh, let me see. Go over your head.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty.
This is equipped. Oh, you want game winners? Wop, wop, wop. Here we go. Like, I'm trying to figure out
What was your efficiency?
Yeah, like, I think, when he's talking about his efficiency, because I shot more bad shots than Kevin.
Yeah, you was just hot dogging. You wasn't as clean.
No, I shot more bad shots. But Kevin, because he's 7 feet, he can get his shot off on anybody. He don't really see defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why he's so efficient. There's nobody at his height on the perimeter. He changed the way we look at perimeter. He pretty much changed the game on the perimeter. Like being a 7'2" guard, you know what I'm saying? That's like, come on, the biggest 2 guard when I came in was like 6'5", 6'6".
Dirk was what, a 3?
Dirk was a 4, man.
Was he a 4?
Yeah, he's 7. He playing center. He a center playing at the point guard, 2 guard. You know what I'm saying? So all his matchups and the way he shoot the ball and get to the ball, he efficient with it. So I can see why LeBron would say that. But shoot, you got to put me in that talk when we talk about most equipped scorers now. Come on, Bron.
You got to put your hand right though. You ain't really.
Man.
Yeah, you got to make it right. You know what I mean?
Talking about
Tyler, what was Paul's field goal?
But when you think about it, when you think about it, the history part,
45.
the game of the NBA and the history of it is so long. So to add the history part to it is a bit much. Now, KD was sitting there with him, so, give him a little more extra sugar as far as that goes.
Well, KD's not here with the
no, but I'm
44.5%.
44.5%?
I was probably the best pure scorer ever in the history of the game.
Okay.
History.
There you go. See, you see how he did that?
They want to use history.
That's what I'm saying. So
when we just talk about pure score, I'm in that list.
When you think about it, though, he could get a bucket from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
But I felt like Kobe Bryant could get a bucket from anywhere on the floor. But Kobe wasn't as efficient as
Well, I think
KD.
that is what LeBron is saying about most equipped.
But he
because-
didn't say efficient.
No,
Yeah, he
he
did.
said
He said
efficient
earlier. He said
and
efficient.
that he can get a shot from
Okay, I
anywhere.
missed that part there.
Yeah, he said efficient. He's an efficiency guy, and that KD's efficiency matched with his ability to get a shot anywhere on the floor is why he's calling him most equipped. Because when we were prepping for this, I also was like, well, what is equipped? Like, that's not a term that we usually use to describe a player. But the way that LeBron breaks it down, I tend to agree with him.
I mean,
I think
the efficiency part in there, I don't have any issue with it at all.
yeah, he's an incredibly efficient shooter.
Because he's the only player in NBA history to shoot 50% from the field, 39% from 3, and 85% from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's efficient.
That's efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about that, though. He's a scoring champ. He can do it all offensively. And at a high percentage, that's tough.
So you right there, too, anyway. So you.
I can do all the things Kevin can do offensively, though.
Yeah.
Like, I can do I probably had a little more because I was a better post-up player than him as far as getting into the paint. Like, he got his fadeaways, he got his jab, but I think I was a better post-up player than him. But pretty much everything else, I could do what he did. Offensively.
Okay. Talk that talk then. I ain't mad at you.
We can,
You know what I'm
if
saying?
y'all don't agree, go to YouTube, kids. You know what I'm saying? Put in Paul Pierce offensive highlights, and you'll see.
No, I'm gonna just call Harold. I'm gonna ask Harold. Paul.
Which Harold?
Little Harold.
Lil Harold?
Little Harold.
Lil Harold
Little
Jones.
Harold coached me.
Lil Harold Jones.
It's Harold Jones. He texted me the other day.
Coming up, Travis Kelce said teams will be able to tire out Travis Hunter by making him defend deep routes. We'll tell you if that is fair or foul next on Sweet.
Oh, we got some fair or foul.
All right, it's time for fair or foul. I'm going to read some relevant news items, and we will decide if they are fair or foul. So let's start with American football, something Travis Kelce knows a lot about as a 4-time first-team All-Pro and 3-time Super Bowl champ. He thinks he knows how teams are going to slow down the Jags' new dual-threat star, Travis Hunter. Kelce said teams are going to, quote, run deep balls at him all day. at the corner to, quote, try and get him tired. Key, fair or foul?
It's foul. It's foul. That's not going to, how many, you going to just, I mean, like, you going to keep trying to bomb me? You're not going to connect. No, you're not going to connect at all. What they should do is run at him. When they run at him, you got the defender, the receiver blocking him at the point of attack. That's going to tire him out, opposed to him running. He can run all day long. He can run like the wind. He's conditioned for that. But when you put them hands on him with one of them big receivers, and you blocking in the running game, and he has to shed the block, get off the block, and make the tackle, that's when you get tired.
I think it's fair. When you come in as a highly touted rookie, the vets are going to find ways to pick on you and just see what you got. It was like that for me. I was doing it to young guys who was coming into the league, and I could see that happening to the young fella, Travis, so that's fair for me.
I am going to say that this is foul. He's never going to be in better shape than he is right now. Never going to have more energy
run like the wind,
than
man.
he will as a rookie. Also, that is not an efficient offensive strategy. Like, you can't just be bombing it 3 straight downs.
Gotta find ways.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to beat him. That's how it goes.
You lean on it.
From NFL greatness to NBA greatness, LeBron's agent Rich Paul said that he's been contacted by teams trying to trade for his client and friend LeBron. Reportedly, the Cavs are not one of them. The team that drafted LeBron and brought him back once already are reportedly not interested in trading for King James if he becomes available. Paul, fair or foul?
That's fair. Listen, LeBron is going to go out on his high horse as a Laker. If you're going to trade for LeBron, you're going to lose some assets that's probably you're going to need in the future. So I can see that. I don't see a big market for LeBron, or if there's a market at all.
No, it's fair. You got LeBron basically on an expiring contract. If he wants to play beyond this upcoming season, you're going to have to extend him. It's fair as can be. And like Paul said, you're going to have to part ways with some assets that you're probably going to want for the future. They've done this movie already before. Came back to Cleveland. This one's for you, the whole deal. Just come on, let's be a Laker and keep it pushing.
Cleveland!
This is for you.
It's fair. Cleveland is in a position to compete and potentially go to the NBA Finals right now. They had an excellent regular season, obviously dealt with some injuries in the postseason, weren't able to get it done. But LeBron is, at the very least, at the end of his road for this particular contract. So he's not going to put you over the edge in that way. And when you look at what you'd have to give up to get him, it doesn't really make sense for the Cavs. Also, I feel like we saw the story with Cleveland.
Yeah.
They got that moment. You have it in the history books.
And then he bounced.
It's a better story, actually, I believe, for him to go out on any type of high with the Lakers at this point. So I don't think it makes sense. Sticking with hoops, Chris Paul has 20 years of NBA experience and doesn't see himself as a backup heading into year 21. CP3 has received interest from teams, including the Clippers, but is reportedly holding out for an opportunity where he will have a chance to start. So, Paul, fair or foul that Chris Paul should still be a starter?
I think it's foul. I think he's at the point in his career with the way the game is going to where he's a backup now, especially on a contending team. And I'm sure Chris doesn't want to go to a young team or a bad team and start, but I think, with the speed, these young guards coming into the league, I think he's a backup. So I think for me, that's foul. Although I respect Chris and what he's done so far in this league.
See, I think it's fair because he didn't say I need to start for 39 minutes or whatever, right? He just said I need to start. And I felt like Dallas could have used him instead of D'Angelo Russell because what they're gonna need somebody to make sure distribution of the ball, set the offense right. Now, look, yes, Paul's correct. Maybe he becomes a defensive liability, but that's you can protect that to some degree. You're not asking him to play 4 straight quarters, but I just think it's fair.
I think if somebody, like a team like Dallas would have made sense. He doesn't make sense as a starter for every team. No. It just depends what's more of a priority for him, to play with a contender or to start.
See, he doesn't even make sense for the Clippers, though. And they say the Clippers have interest because James Harden's a guy. What, you gonna move James off the ball?
When you start getting your upper 30s, you become a defensive liability, especially at the guard, and he's a small guard too. Tough.
Well, switching over to the football field, Aaron Glenn and the new-look Jets moved on from Aaron Rodgers, and New York signed Justin Fields away from the Steelers early in the offseason, have been impressed with their new quarterback. Star corner Sauce Gardner says that Fields has even made some Rodgers-type throws in practice. Now, we know that Key has a particular affection for the 4 throws that Rodgers made last year that looked good. So fair or foul to say that Fields has been making Rodgers-like throws?
I say it's fair. And that doesn't mean that he looks like Aaron Rodgers throwing the football, Joy. So the internet, as Joy likes to make me understand, don't dive into it that deep because that's not what I'm saying. All he's doing is making precise throws in practice with T-shirts and shorts on. It just certain things you can look at and you say, oh, okay, that looks good. And I think he's headed in the right direction. I don't like the number 7 on him, though. That just looks weird to me. Every time I see it, I got to look close. Like, is that Fields? But it's Fields. I like him with the deuce on.
I think this is super fair. I mean, I love it when teammates hype up other teammates, even if they mean it or not. It goes a long way just mentally. I remember if I was Keith's teammate, I'd have been like, man, get this man the damn ball. This man out here like Jerry Rice.
No, I wasn't like Jerry, but I understand.
Like the playmaker, man, get this man the ball. That's just the type of teammate I am. Yeah, I think that's all the way fair.
I think it's fair. Sauce Gardner saw what Aaron looked like in
up close and
personal before the injury.
Yeah.
So I think, he not necessarily last year, but before the injury in camp and all that, he was able to see what Aaron was capable of doing. So I think this is a nice thing to say.
And believe it or not, what's crazy about this, when you go inside the locker room, he's a grandfather. I'm with my peer. This is my age group.
Yeah.
I can rock with him. Aaron Rodgers, I can't rock with him. That's all. That's another thing that he's saying, but he's not saying it out loud.
It's a different level of camaraderie. Well, coming up, from Rodgers to Love, can Jordan Love help Green Bay take the next step this season? That's next on Speak.
My Paul do that all the time, though.
Well, he's staying ready. Stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Gotta stay ready so you don't.
Cheryl, are you the greatest women's basketball player?
No.
Girl bye.
Hey!
One of the greatest basketball players on the men's side had a sister that was better.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese as Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Absolutely.
Is Caitlin Clark a freaking baller?
Yeah.
Is she a generational player? When I looked up in the rafters, I'd be lying to you if I said that I didn't envision my jersey, but I wanted to hang a banner.
Back in the day, schools couldn't fly you out. You would have to fly yourself out to the school.
That is why. What? When you're coming down and you have 100 points, what are the eyes of the opponents like?
It's a C-note.
Episode 2 of Keys LA Legends series is out now, featuring Cheryl Miller and Candace Parker. Key, you got a chance to see Cheryl play. So how special of a player was she?
Yeah, that's right. Tell us about that. Y'all didn't go to school together?
Stop.
At SC?
So I saw her play in high school, obviously in college. I watched her coach at USC. When I was there, she was the head women's coach there. It was just crazy because, when you're young, you don't know, you just see basketball players. And you like, I bet she can beat the men. And so back then, there was no W. But there was conversations, and I remember like it was yesterday, there was conversations in like the LA Times and the Herald Examiner about her possibly playing in the NBA. That's how good she was, man. It was crazy to just be able to see somebody in high school score 100 points. And then when I met her for the first time when I was young, I just was like, damn. She had the curl, whatever it was, curly hair. Just like, damn, that's the old girl. You just remember back then. But I saw Candace play in high school too, obviously college and in W. It was just crazy to be amongst two of the greatest to ever play a sport. It's like being around Paul and one of his teammates and like KG, being around them on a constant basis, even though I know them, it's just like, okay, you in good company with these.
Yeah,
too.
They were really like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Candace just had
They
her.
both dunked. Both Cheryl dunked in high school.
I didn't know that.
Think about that.
People don't really know about. Well, I won't say people don't know. Kids don't know. Like the youngins don't know how good Cheryl Miller was.
But think about what I'm saying. She's only probably 6'1.5", 6'2", and she dunked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
she was like that.
I know some guys 6'1" and 6'2".
Can't dunk. That's what we was talking about. I'm like, I know some dudes 6'4" that can't dunk.
Yeah. And Candace just had her jersey retired.
Yes.
Well deserved.
Look at Cheryl right here.
LA Legends.
Look at that. Bam. The stroke is crazy with the curl, the whole thing.
Not the glasses, too.
Look at that, man. It's just different.
Yeah, she was different for sure. So you guys had the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark conversation?
Yeah. We had the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, the conversation.
Did anyone like bust through the door and try to fight y'all?
No, not at all. They gave their opinions on where they were headed in their careers, so to speak. But Cheryl would not admit that she is the greatest. She just won't, me and Candace kept trying to get her to say, but then in a slick way, I get her to admit, though, because then I said to her, Cheryl, is there anybody that reminds you of yourself in the WNBA right now? She looked at me, looked me up and down.
Damn.
It was just like,
that's an insult.
Yeah, like, man, please. But it's cool, though.
Yeah.
She used to beat Reggie all the time when they was young in basketball. But that's not even it. Her sister was a volleyball player, and her other brother played baseball. Oh. And Reggie in basketball. Her whole family, that's crazy, though.
Dang.
But you got to check it out. You got to check out the
Definitely check out LA Legends with Cheryl Miller and Candace Parker. Coming up is Clayton Kershaw's latest historical accomplishments, a sign the Dodgers will repeat as World Series champs. That's next on Speak. Time to check in on our social life. Clayton Kershaw reached the incredible milestone of 3,000 strikeouts last night. He is just the 20th pitcher and 4th lefty to hit that mark. And he did so in front of his home fans at Dodger Stadium. Key, how do you feel? Did you feel watching this Dodgers legend hit 3,000 strikeouts?
Well, originally I wasn't focused in on the strikeouts. I was focused in on the score and the runs that he was giving up. But then I kept saying they need to take him out. He's tired. He's gassed. But they kept him in. And then finally somebody said, okay, he's a couple strikes away from 3,000. So I was like, okay, good. This is a great milestone for him. He's only the 4th left-hand pitcher to hit that milestone and only the 20th player to have 3,000 strikeouts. So that's what it is. And think about it. He has struck out 959 different players in his career. He fanned 959 different ones. Crazy.
How long he been in the league now?
Oh, man, this is Kershaw's 16th season, I believe.
That's a long time for a
I believe
pitcher.
it's 16th or 17th.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Tyler, give it to me. 16th or 17th?
That's a long. Congrats, Kersh. Congrats.
18.
18.
That's a long time. That's a long career.
I was having this conversation yesterday that, is hitting a baseball in the majors the hardest thing to do in sports?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably so.
I ain't never heard Paul say he could do that.
That's
because you got 100, some of them pitches is coming at you with moving and coming at 90-something, and if you can't read the laces, you're in trouble.
That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for a special 4th of July version of Speak.